the only part that's scripted, and we struggle the most with it. We just like having a conversation. But welcome to an Intentional Marriage Podcast.
We are Chad and Kristen, here to discuss all things marriage and offer practical tips and tools to help you build your marriage.
And you know why, Kristen? Because we know great marriages don't just happen.
You have to be intentional.
And that's what we're doing with this podcast is we're getting intentional and hopefully giving you those tips and tools and sharing a lot of stories and being transparent on our marriage. And we're excited about it, though, and having this conversation today. Kristen, I'm excited about today's topic as we've titled it, What's Fun Got to Do with It? Because, you know, we love having fun.
Yes, we do.
Some people always have said around us, it's always an adventure. When you're with the Cottinghams,
always an adventure with us.
We're crazy. People are like, is this how you normally operate?
We literally had somebody ask us that one time. They're like, is this how you normally function?
And the answer is yes.
And it was a light bulb moment for our daughter. She was like, oh, is this not normal for everybody?
But if you're tuning in the first time, welcome. If you're not, our last episode, we looked at why is marriage so hard? And we looked at some of those things surrounding that and what causes that from backgrounds and expectations. And we'll get into more of those things in detail. But we're really, again, excited about what's fun got to do with it. So, Kristen, I want you to think back. Now, we've been on a lot of dates.
Yes.
We've been married 32 years, dated, 2 years before that. And ever since then, we've done a lot of dates. What's one of the most memorable dates we've ever had or sticks out to you? What comes to your mind?
Memorable. Do you mean memorable as in a positive experience or a negative? Or it just, okay, let's see. Most memorable date, I'll give a good one. We love to visit northern Michigan. We're located here in the southern Michigan, but up north Michigan is absolutely beautiful, God's country. And
so, most people, Kristen, they don't know about Michigan. We usually tell where we live by the hand.
By the hand, yes.
Yes, you kind of give the hand, and we live down here, but northern, we're talking up here, the top, not the UP, that's way up here.
Right.
So we are way up here.
Well, it's just
by Good Heart, Michigan, I believe is where it was.
Oh, okay. Well, you're better with directions than me. Anyway, I just know it's up north and it's beautiful. And we were up there one weekend for a little getaway, having a great time, just driving along the Michigan coastline. And all of a sudden, we just got this idea, didn't we, honey?
Well, the beach was beautiful. It was a gorgeous day. It was really warm. And for northern Michigan, really all of Lake Michigan and all the lakes, it doesn't get really warm. It's usually really cold. But it was so beautiful. We pulled over on a road, and there was no real pull-off. We just pulled off, and we said, let's go down to the water. Now, if I remember right, this was like straight down.
It was a steep cliff. Like, we were holding onto pine tree branches.
Short branches, each other, going down.
It was narrow, treacherous, but we were up for the challenge because we are adventurous.
And it looked like there was a path like some other people had gone down.
Right.
But it didn't look like it was a path well-traveled.
No.
But if you really wanted to get down to the water like we did, we
were willing to chance it.
We did.
So we did. We got down to the bottom, and we were like, there was not a soul in sight. There were no houses. We felt like we were on a deserted island, and it was beautiful. So once we got down there, we were like...
Well, we put our feet in the water first, and we're like... This is unbelievable. This water isn't that cold.
Yeah.
This is actually warm for Lake Michigan because sometimes the currents or whatever, it gets warmer. It's not very often. And so we said, well, let's go swimming.
Mm-hmm.
But
did.
Kristen, there was a problem.
We didn't have any bathing suits. We didn't have any towels. We had nothing with us.
It's like 2 p.m.
Yes, in the middle of the day. And we just decided to go for it. And we stripped down to not even our skivvies. We were skinny dipping at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we were, you know what? It was one of the best dates we've ever had.
We still remember, and we laughed and laughed. We had a great time, but we kept looking around.
Yeah, making sure nobody was like, gonna prank us, punk us, jump out of the woods or whatever, take our clothes. But that was that was fun. And we still remember, it was probably, gosh, how many years ago?
15 years ago.
15, when we could still call it skinny dipping. Now it would be chunky dunking. Okay, all right.
But it was spontaneous.
Yes.
It wasn't planned. It was spontaneous. And that's what I really liked about it. And I've liked so many of our dates like that. I do love planning. But sometimes just those things we've done.
Yeah.
I can remember another one, Kristen, very similar. We were out west. We took a quick couple day trip out west with work, and she got to come with me. And we're out in like western Nebraska, over near the corner of Colorado, Wyoming. And we decided we're going to go see this big landmark. And these things, it's really the prairies, the plains. If you see them, there's no trees. There's these jagged things coming up. And we're going to go up and we're going to park at this place and we're going to rock climb, walk up this steep.
How would you describe it? To me, it looks like, remember as a kid on the beach and you used to like dig into the sand and make like drip sand castles? That's kind of what it looks like. Like God just made drip sand castles out of these rock formations.
Maybe that happened from the flood.
Who knows? We won't get into all that.
Who knows? But we said, let's go up there. There's a path. Actually, people did walk this place. There was a place for cars.
We started out,
but we were the only ones there. We were the only ones for miles and miles and miles because we didn't see people. We were alone in the middle of nowhere, climbing these huge rock cliff formations. How we like it.
Yeah, we again, adventurous, spontaneous, whatever, and we got pretty high, didn't we? We were like up pretty high,
towards the top.
All of a sudden. You take over.
I remember we came up on this little ledge. It was like a ledge instead of just a path. And it was a small ledge, maybe only 10 foot wide by 5 foot wide, a small ledge. So we both get to the top of this ledge, like I'm helping her up. And a little bit farther to the top, and all of a sudden, Kristen, we hear this loud, screeching, blood-curdling.
It was like, it was the cross between like a pterodactyl, a
mountain lion,
and somebody being murdered, and a mountain lion. It was the scariest
True story.
sound, and it came out of nowhere. I was like paralyzed with well for 1 second. I was paralyzed for 1 second with fear, and then
okay, hold on, my turn.
Okay,
she said she paralyzed. That is false.
Well, I said for 1 second.
So as a traditional male, man, husband, I'm a protector. So I hear this noise, and the first thing I do is I take my whole body and I try and jump and stand right in front of Kristen, and I want to face what's going on, what's coming at us, because literally I thought we were going to be attacked.
Murdered.
And so I'm standing there and I'm looking around, and our hands are up, and I'm like, okay, we're on.
What's coming at me?
We're on. Kristen and I, we can take this together. I've got her behind me, and I'm like, Kristen, nothing. I don't see anything. Kristen, and I don't hear anything. Kristen, where are you at? And I'm still looking forward. I don't want to turn my head on this thing. And all of a sudden, I look over my shoulder and I see Kristen halfway down the hill heading to the car. She slid down.
Dust is flying. Rocks are skidding all over the place because I am booking it. I think at one point I did. I sat on my butt and just slid down this like dirt ravine rock. I was not going to take a chance as to what was coming at us.
And you left me for dead.
I did. I did have this thought halfway down. I'm like, oh my word, I am gonna have to go dig out our car keys out of my dead husband's pockets. And what am I gonna do? I did have that, and I'm sorry.
She's worried about the car keys. She wasn't worried about me.
I know. I was thinking, how far away? How far can I get from this thing? So I am sorry but now you know. In fight or flight, I'm a flighter.
And for those of them that are wondering, though, so we did make it out. We survived.
Clearly, we made it out alive.
What was that?
Yeah.
I actually stayed up and I explored a little bit, and I started getting closer. There was a cave like at the top of this thing, and I could see in there. It was one of those giant birds,
like condor
birds,
birds.
Like a condor bird. Yes. On a nest. It was the biggest, if you know condor, they're like one of the biggest birds out there.
So basically it was kind of like a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
It was like prehistoric.
I'm no scientist or biologist, but I think it could be in the same family.
Yeah, you're not Bill Nye the Science Guy.
But I saw that and I was like, oh. So I know mama bears and mama animals, they don't like when you're around. So I backed up and I went down as well. And I caught up with my wife at the bottom of the hill at the car ready to leave, and how thankful I was that.
No, I was so thankful that nothing happened to you.
So you didn't have to climb back up.
Right, because I was really thinking that was a steep climb, and I was worried what condition you were going to be in. So I'm glad you came down and joined me. Yes. But okay, so those are two memorable.
Yeah,
dates.
those are fun. Those are fun. We remembered them. I mean, the one wasn't as fun, almost getting eaten by a pterodactyl. But so let me transition, because I like giving both ends.
Okay. We've had some doozies too.
Great dates. We can go. I remember dates we've ended up fighting the whole time, canceling the dates. Mm-hmm. We haven't always been good. But if you can remember, Kristen, a date that didn't go too well, can you share that, or do you remember one of those? Yeah. I have a thought. I remember one.
You probably are thinking the same one I'm thinking of.
No.
No. I'm
thinking I'm going to go way back to when we were first dating.
Oh,
we weren't even married yet, and I remember going on a double date.
Oh, gosh.
And I remember I don't have a lot of money. I'm in college. I'm spending money on this girl, and we double
trying
dated.
To win me over.
We tried to. We set up some friends of ours on double date. We're going on a double date, and so we go to this ice cream parlor after a movie. And the other girl doesn't order any. Kristen orders ice cream. I do. This girl says, I don't want any. Well, Kristen gets her ice cream. Well, I didn't know it was for two, because they're her friend. And I'm going to save the names to protect the innocent here.
or guilty.
It's just started eating all of Kristen's. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at her and I'm looking at Kristen, making his face like, what is she doing? Order her own? I didn't buy hers. And her date was like, I was hoping to take care of her. It was very awkward. And I was very upset at this other person.
My friend sharing my ice cream sundae.
And I didn't know, I couldn't say anything.
I know why. We need to explore this on another episode. Because this really bothers you.
Yeah.
30... How many years later?
A long time ago.
34, 5,
I just
6?
remembered. I remember, let your date buy it for you. Don't eat my dates.
Ice cream.
Yes. And she was very, I thought, rude about it.
Yeah, and I heard about it for a long time still.
I couldn't believe it.
This many years later. Okay, so that was one of yours. One of mine was we decided to get some culture in our...
You mean me?
Yeah. Okay, you.
She's trying to give me some
because
culture.
Most of our dates are centered around like activities and sports, sometimes.
Adventures, climbing,
so
biking.
I bought us some tickets to Les Mis, the Broadway show. And I said, okay, we're dressing up tonight. We're going to go out to dinner. We're going to just... have a high society date. And we got there, we found our seats, we're center stage, but we are up really high.
Center stage?
Well, we were kind of up.
We were like in the
We were in the nosebleed section, but we had a good view of the stage.
Oh, okay.
So
I don't know anything.
I was all excited. I'm thinking, we're going to watch a cool, production, and the curtains
can
open.
I turn out
yes.
here?
What?
I have to give credit to, I at least was willing to go to this with you. Because let's be honest, a lot of times guys don't like doing things that ladies like. We like doing things we like, but it's important that we do things that our spouse likes and enjoys. And again, I was with my wife.
Right.
She's fun. We have a great time. So I was willing. Right. I don't care what it is. I'm going to do it. I'm doing it with you. So I was up for it.
Yes, you were up for the challenge.
I had a smile on my face.
I knew it was fake, and you were trying to really muster up some energy, but I did give you credit for that, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I gotta have.
Okay, all right, we give you. You got some points. So we sit down in our seats, and the curtain opens, and right from the get-go, we did not enjoy it at all, did we?
Yeah,
we
I'm
couldn't
glad
hear.
You said we.
I will say I didn't enjoy it either. I mean, I couldn't hear what he was saying. It was all like
mumbo jumbo
opera music. I mean, okay, I can appreciate it.
We have to apologize.
Yes, I'm sorry if anybody's offended by this, because it just was an off night, because we've enjoyed other productions in place. But we
were Les Miserables.
Yes, we were Les Miserables.
Until we left the intermission. So again,
we thought we should leave because we kept laughing and rolling our eyes and looking at each other, and we thought we might be offending other guests, we did end up leaving. And it just was, it was miserable and memorable. But
Yes.
you
And
know
it was
what?
perfect because, again, like we said, Les
Yeah,
Mis.
but we did try. We tried something new. I give you credit because you were willing to, do something that I wanted to do. So those are a few of our experiences.
Yeah, and I think it's important, Chris, as we talk about fun, because we have had a lot of fun and memorable things over the years, that as married couples, you continue to date, you continue to have fun, you continue to be adventurous. Because I know when you're first dating and early honeymoon season, you're doing all kinds of fun stuff.
Yes.
And you're dating all the time, getting to know each other, hanging out, talking. And then I see too many married couples, they kind of get in a rut.
Yes.
They kind of get comfortable. They don't need to date very often because they already got their wife, and marriage just gets real stale. And so we want to encourage you guys to continue to have fun in your marriage, to continue to date your spouse.
Can I say it, honey? Can I say the cheesy cliche that you are like, oh my, that's so cheesy whenever I say it? Fun is fundamental in a healthy marriage. It really is, though. I mean, like you said earlier, last episode we talked about, sometimes marriage can be difficult and challenging. This is the flip side. This is what gets us through those challenging times, and it creates positive energy in our relationship. I mean, we just came off this is kind of funny. We didn't plan this topic to talk about this date, but we just actually came off a week's worth of fun. The first time that we've done something like this in how many years? 30 plus years.
This long time.
Yeah. That we actually had a week's worth of fun. We went on a vacation together and we just had a great time just basically having fun.
Yeah, it was. And Kristen, we're lucky that we're at a stage where we're empty nesters. And we were really going out celebrating that like a success.
Yes.
But I know a lot of our listeners out there, they're not empty nesters. They've got maybe young children at home. Maybe they've got teenagers and they're at sports and they're busy and they've got jobs or they've got church. And finding time to have fun with their spouse is not...
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
So what are some things they could do? What are the young couples at any age, whether early marriage, mid-marriage, with kids, what could they do to continue to have fun? What are some ideas?
Well, first, I think it starts, I know this is going to sound simple, maybe. It starts in your mind, because here's where I'm going to go with this. When we were younger and we didn't have a lot of money and we did have those obstacles like schedules and kids, I thought having fun and date nights in particular were extra in our marriage. I thought we just had to, do the daily grind. We had to just keep doing the next thing, putting out the next fire, I had this mindset that date nights and having fun was extra, but we kind of got to a place where we were like, what is wrong? Why are we kind of, butting heads? Why are we not enjoying each other? And then I realized, you know what? We just need to go have fun. And fun is essential. It's not extra. And so I think for young couples to just place a high value on having fun together is a start. I think that, is one thing. But I also think the next thing is you're going to have to schedule it. Now you and I are in a stage, empty nesters, like you said, we can be spontaneous. We don't have kids and more responsibilities that go along with that tying us down. But it is so important to prioritize having fun. And it's really what gets you through the hard times.
Yeah, you're sorry, Kristen. I like what you said. Some of you out there actually need to schedule a date night. I've seen some of your schedules. I've seen people as we talk to. Man, it is full of kids' ball games and practices and all these different things.
Commitments.
Everything is scheduled, but I don't see any date. And I say, do you have any dates scheduled? Oh no. Yeah. It's almost like it's an afterthought. If time comes up, maybe we'll go out. And sometimes you're so tired, you don't even do it. No, let's just not do it tonight.
Right.
So we're going to encourage you guys to schedule date nights. Put it on your calendar. Maybe for some of you, you can go once a week. Maybe every Friday night you go on a date. Or maybe some of you, it's every other week. Or maybe some of you, it's just once a month. It really gives you something to look forward to.
Yes.
To like, oh my gosh, okay, we're going to have a sitter. I can get a break. I can catch my breath. I can go enjoy my spouse and have a great time. And what I want to encourage you, when you go do that date night, Also set some boundaries, some
Yes.
parameters. You're always talking about the kids and the schedules and the work. Maybe you say, we're not talking about our parents. We're not
Yes.
talking about the kids. We're not talking about work.
Money.
Money.
Not talking
We're
about
going to
money.
talk about each other. We're going to talk
Yes.
about our hopes and dreams. Some of those things you once did, but you've kind of gotten away from. So whatever boundaries you want to create,
Yes.
now you can just go have fun.
Right.
You're like, oh no, is my husband going to talk about the $300 Amazon bill I had, or
Right.
or so we want to encourage you, make your date nights how you
Yes.
want it. Schedule it, but maybe in the scheduling, maybe 1 week you schedule the date. The next time I do, and vice versa. Some could cost money, and some could just be going to
Yes.
get a Frosty or taking a walk in the park.
Yes.
You don't have to have a bunch of money
Yeah.
to do these things. I know some couples that, boy, they have a lot of kids and they can't afford sitters as well. So they exchange, hey, you watch our kids this week and you babysit while my wife and I go out, and then next week we'll watch your kids.
Yes.
And so the kids can play and hang out while the adults and the parents get a chance to go out and date. So there's so many ways to do it, but I think too often we make excuses not to date our spouse. And yet I think it's probably one of the most important things we have to maintain doing.
Yes. And something just came to me too. And I think it's equally important and deserves a shout out here. You spoke to the younger couples. I feel it's important to talk to couples maybe a little older, grandparent stage, those that are empty nesters, those that have the ability. Because a lot of the conversations I have with young moms are like, oh, my mom doesn't babysit. Or my mom and dad, no, they were like, we raised our kids, you raise yours. And we were fortunate enough. Your parents were so willing to take our kids, and my parents were so willing to take the kids that I know that's not the situation for everybody. And, some of our kids live 12 hours away, so it's not conducive. But we appreciate those fill-in grandparents that have stepped up for our kids and have really just seen and recognized the need to give young couples a break. And so,
even if it's for 2 hours or even an hour to again, go get a Coke or whatever.
Right. It doesn't have to be extravagant. Date nights, like you said, they don't have to cost a lot of money. They don't have to be extravagant, but they do have to be a priority. And I think that's what we want to stress is, you know what, schedule a date night, make it a priority, because you know what, the message that it communicates to your kids is that, you know what, our marriage matters. Our marriage is a priority. And the kids will see you like, okay, wow, mom and dad enjoy each other. It just creates a positive climate for the whole family.
They know it's mom and dad's time, and you said it, you're setting a great example for your kids that dad is still dating mom. Mom is still dating dad. They look forward to it. They make it special. It's their time, and that's so good. And Kristen, it's also a biblical example. God talks to us and says, enjoy the wife of your youth.
Yes.
It doesn't say while you're young. It says enjoy the wife of your youth. So enjoying it is going out and having fun and having date nights or trying new things, whatever it is. So when God's even commanding that,
you better take notice.
Yeah, you better take note. And we've always felt that's important. We even have a section in our book. The whole first section is on playing together, maintaining that friendship and throughout marriage, because you don't want to be empty nesters and look at a stranger. All we've done is our schedules.
Right.
And I don't have fun with it. No, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because we choose to have fun. It's not always perfect. We get Les Mis and some of those other things. And
sometimes it's just like going out for a drive. I mean, or riding around on the golf cart, on our property or whatnot. Again, it's just, the point is prioritizing your spouse, time with your spouse, and sending that message that, you know what, you matter. I enjoy your company. I enjoy being with you. I enjoy having fun with you. And that's what's going to get us through those difficult times. Those, because we all have those seasons that we go through. It's not always fun and games, but fun and games do help.
And Kristen, I want to leave with one little game or date we've done before. We've encouraged. It's called the penny date. Yeah, so it's kind of unique for those that want to be spontaneous and not have exactly where you're going. So choose a number, say between 5 and 10 or 5 and 12, say 7, for example. So what you're going to do is you're going to flip that coin, and if it's heads, you're going to turn right and then drive. That's your first one. And you're going to drive until it stops. The road stops, or a stop sign or a stoplight. Then you're going to flip the coin again. If it's heads, you turn right. If it's tails, you turn left. At the end of those 7 flips, wherever you're at, wherever you're facing, you're going to look around, and that's where your date is going to be. If there's a park, if there's a mall, if there's food. And so you don't know where you're going to end up, but you're just going with the mindset.
We're off on an adventure.
We're on an adventure. And like we say, it's always an adventure.
Yeah.
With the Goddamn. So we love having adventure. We also love planning for big vacations. We have to do more planning.
Right. But spontaneous is also fun too. You need a mix of both. Planning and spontaneous. So, but the whole point is that you have to be intentional, because it's not just going to happen. You're going to get sucked into, everyday life, your routine, but you have to carve out time and make it a priority. So
like you said, Kristen, great
marriages don't just happen. You have to